You're back with more Matt Patrick.
KTRH News Time is 8:17. Joining us right now is civil rights attorney Randall Kallinen. Randall, welcome to Houston's Morning News. First time you and I have had a chance to talk to each other.
Oh, thanks for having me on your show.
It is my pleasure. Let's start with the tents. That's the email that I received from you was about the tents. The mayor wanted them removed from Tinsley Park, and the protesters said they don't want to take them down. Where are we with that right now?
Well, at the moment, the protesters have taken them down. However, there was a Supreme Court case, Clark versus Communities for Nonviolence, which said that tents can be expressive. However, in that case, the Washington, D.C. park ordinance regarding sleeping, anti-sleeping, that is, at night in parks was upheld. But as far as tents were concerned, as long as they were somewhat expressive, with slogans and so forth, and maybe to show that the plight of the homeless, that they have to sleep outside, is allowable.
All right. So did the tents of the Occupy Houston protesters have slogans on them? And if they did, what were the slogans? I love the slogans.
Yeah. Yes, they did have some slogans on them, mainly dealing with corporate greed and so forth, and homelessness and things like that. That is what they had on them.
Can you buy these tents with these slogans already printed on them, or did they have to print the slogans on them after they purchased the tents? I'm just curious.
Yeah, after they purchased the tents, and I think there were various protesters basically had tents, and they were just put on there. There's a few other cases throughout the country involving tents, and as long as they're expressive, it's kind of like the deal like a sign, a protest sign.
Got it. Now, there's some wacky laws out there, aren't there, Randall? And that's why it's always nice to have folks on like you, because I'm just unaware of these laws.
Yeah, there's a lot of laws.
There is indeed. Randall, I'm going to ask you to hang on, but when we come back, and I want you to think about this. Yesterday, the Good Jobs Great Houston organization had a protest inside of the Leland Federal Building in downtown Houston. They were asked to leave this glassed-in corridor. They wanted to talk to Senator Kay Bailey Hutchison about her not voting on the jobs bill. And the question that I have for you, and I want you to think about, is whether or not you feel this organization is kind of hijacking the Occupy Houston protesters' thunder, I guess you would say, and whether or not this organization, the Good Jobs at Great Houston organization, is a radical group of anarchists. Think about that, and I'll come back for your answer in just a moment. But first, let's take a look at traffic and weather together.
Your morning news continues now on KTRH.
KTRH News Time is 8:22. Joining me, civil rights attorney Randall Kallinen. And Randall, thanks again for your time here this morning.
No problem.
I asked the question for folks that are just joining us, whether or not you feel that the Occupy Houston protesters have been kind of shanghaied, if you will, hijacked by the Good Jobs Great Houston group that got themselves arrested yesterday. And, of course, this is what they wanted to do. But what are your thoughts? I mean, these are supposed to be two different organizations, or are they the same?
Well, as far as I can see, I was at the event, by the way, as a purely a legal observer for a civil rights organization, and they were protesting together. However, the Occupy Houston people generally came from the city council, and the others were where they seemed to be people who were complaining about the job situation. Now, what they were arrested for was simple trespassing. I watched them, and basically some people just basically sat down. They didn't throw things at officers. No one was injured. So as far as their level of what you would call civil disobedience, it was an extremely low level of civil disobedience.
It says criminal trespassing charges.
Well, that's Class C misdemeanor. They were put into the they were briefly arrested. It's a Class C misdemeanor, like a speeding ticket or having no insurance and stuff like that. So they just sat down and they got arrested.
I see. So that's okay. I mean, it's kind of like a speeding ticket. I mean, we all do that. No driver's license. I mean, that's okay. I mean, you get arrested. It's just a simple trespass. That's okay.
Well, it is what they use to call attention to the joblessness and what they believe is to be corporate greed that's partially causing it. It is there has been other civil disobedience in the past, and like I say, people will resort sometimes to civil disobedience in order to draw attention to their causes, and that's what I see here, and they chose about the lowest level you could possibly choose. That is sit down and then go get arrested for a Class B misdemeanor.
Let me ask you this. I understand that there are meetings and types of groups that get together to teach others how to protest correctly. Is that right? Do I understand that right?
Well, yeah. There are in many organizations. I have. Tell people about what to do and what not to do.
Are you doing that?
Everybody is safe.
Are you doing that in Houston? We're doing it in downtown Houston as well, right?
I believe that there was something in downtown Houston where it showed if you wanted to protest, much like, the Tea Partiers and other groups have been protesting in order to do it in a safe and effective manner, and that you don't get in trouble and don't get arrested.
Right, because the Tea Party people never got arrested, so that must have been a bad class, or maybe some of those protesters yesterday missed that day at protesting school because the Tea Party people never got arrested. But, Randall, I'm out of time. I thank you for your time today, sir, and I look forward to having you back on.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Occasionally, if you miss school, see, that's what happens. If you miss a day, you might have missed the day where they said the Tea Party people never got arrested for their civil disobedience. So, see, you miss that day and you get arrested and look like, but hey, don't worry about it. It's just like a traffic ticket. Who cares?